how to design a live set. Let's say you want to perform as an electronic musician, and that means somehow getting up on stage and sitting down with a bunch of tools, let's say things like modular synthesizers, but really whatever tools inspire you, and you want to perform for people. What are some ways to think about it? What are some things to keep in mind? How would you go about it? Let's talk about 3 different steps to how to get to a place where you can actually perform live.
Step number 1 is to choose the emotions and the musical devices that you want to use. And by emotions, I don't just mean happy or sad. It can be a very
specific artistic emotion.
And by musical devices, I don't mean which objects, I mean which musical concepts. Check out the website TV Tropes and start to understand what a trope is. It's basically a recurring idea, and you can combine and recombine different tropes whenever you're creating a new piece of media. Same for musical devices. For example, using a 4-on-the-floor kick drum from a drum machine, that's a musical device.
You can choose to do it, you can choose not to do it.
And in terms of emotion, for example, I love the feeling that I get when I run a drum machine into a God Eater pedal. So I wanted to combine that feeling with some of the spoken word feeling that I've heard in other electronic music. And the musical devices that I wanted to explore was
slow tempos, broken techno beats that are incredibly rumbly and distorted,
granular effects on poetry that's being read
into a distorted microphone,
and maybe some atonal FM synthesizers. Those are the emotions and the musical devices that I wanted to explore. Once you've settled on those emotions for yourself, you're gonna then look at concrete tools, processes. So what are the exact boxes that you're gonna put on the table? How are you gonna link them up together? If you have a modular, what modules are you gonna use? You make a hypothesis of what processes you think are gonna be fun and interesting and beautiful.
And then you test run them.
Try things out, and when in doubt, you put a little timer on the clock and you say,
for 1 hour, I'm gonna pretend
that I'm at an actual live performance, and I'm just going to jam in a musical way. I'm not gonna hit pause, I'm not gonna go to the manual, I'm not gonna look things up, I'm just gonna stay in the flow, imagining that there's people in front of me, and I just have to make it work. That's gonna make you hit some obstacles and some challenges, and that's good, because then you can iterate. I'm a big believer in iterating. So you try it out and you iterate. You write down on a piece of paper every time that you get blocked, but you stay in the flow. So for example, for this live set, I have a whole bunch of post-it notes of things that I need to take care of when I'm at my desk again.
And so I iterate and I iterate and I iterate.
Until you get to step 3, which is to design and improve your performance sandbox. That basically means, what are you going to give yourself to do on stage? In electronic music, you can basically make everything go automatically, often. That's where the cliche comes from, that electronic musicians just hit play and watch the machines go.
And that's fine.
But through iteration, you should be finding things that are fun to do live. Which specific processes are fun to tweak live.
Make sure that you've got a sandbox of interesting things to do when the music has started, so that you can have fun experimenting and surprising yourself with the music.
Some people prefer to pre-compose songs and just deliver them live. Personally, I wouldn't recommend that. That's not my vibe, because then you're just making it very complicated for yourself to deliver those exact songs.
And the audience doesn't know what's going on anyway.
Let's be honest, in an optimistic situation, half the effort of what you're putting into this live set is completely lost, and the audience often doesn't know the difference between that and a DJ set. So I would say make a situation where actually playing the instruments is fun, is an added value. As you might know, I'm a big fan of improvising, so I'm always going to be pushing people towards that paradigm. And when you are getting to the point of actually having a sort of a workflow that's fun to do in front of people, and you're liking the sounds that are coming out, think for a moment about the dramaturgy of what you're doing. What is the human being up on stage doing that the audience can connect to?
Like, for example, grabbing a microphone and everyone understands that you're doing something live right now that affects the music. Tweaking filter envelopes. People usually can tell sort of what you're doing in terms of affecting the brightness. Maybe beating a stick onto something. Maybe moving rhythmically.
What does the audience see you do that they can connect to the idea of, oh yeah, they're making the music live on the spot? There's just a little bit of theater involved in that, thinking about the experience of the audience visually and experientially, not just the audio that they're hearing. Because again, in terms of the audio that they're hearing, you can't really compete with a DJ set of purely prepared music. The benefit of live audio is for the total experience that they see, kind of like going to a concert or something like this, where the audience is part of the storyline watching you do it.
That creates a memorable experience with a real identity. So those are my 3 steps to the vinyl live sets. Choose your emotions and musical devices. Figure out your tools and processes
that you then put into test runs and iterate on in a loop that you do several times. And then finally, when you start to get confident in your loop and in the music that's coming out,
consider what your performance sandbox is,
aka what are you giving yourself to do on stage? Are you improvising? Are you having fun? Can you involve the audience in what you're doing so they understand a little bit the experience? If you have an answer to all of these questions, then you know how to make a live set.
My name is Oscar from Underdog. I have online courses and a classroom in Brussels. This live set was done for the VU Mantra team in Berlin. Go watch the full set there. Leave a comment to say something nice to me, subscribe to the channel, and until next time, stay producing, be good to each other, and take care. Bye-bye. You've done it. 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 You've done it.